What's going on, everyone? Big Bob with Tales of a King. Today we're in Inglewood, California. We're going to speak with Malo of JR's Customs. Stay tuned. King Life. Inglewood! What's up, you guys? Big Bob with Tales of a King, and welcome back to another edition. Today we're in Inglewood, California at JR's Customs off Crenshaw Boulevard. And to my left of me, I got Malo. What's up, Malo?
What's up, Bob?
The long-awaited episode. You guys have probably been waiting for this one. Finally, he has time, and he opened up his books to allow us in his shop, and thank you.
It took you long enough?
It took me long enough, yes, for him to say yes. That's exactly why.
You just ran out of people to interview, bro.
It's going to be one of those episodes, huh? So a lot of you guys may know him as Viclauses, which Viclauses recently has just, I mean, it did its thing. Was that what's happening with it? Was that your plan for it, or did it just kind of just do its own thing and go another way?
Well, you know, Viclauses is it's always been a vision of mine, you know, to put on a show for the culture and for the people. So, you know, obviously the first one was, you know, slow dragging, but you know, ultimately, this last show we had, you know, really came to life.
Right.
You know, and I couldn't have asked for anything more. You know, it was awesome. The atmosphere, the people. You know, seeing the whole community come together. You know, it was great. You know, the Vikla culture and the Viklas itself were displayed with the respect that they deserve. And you know, I hope everyone, you know, just had a great time. And you know, I don't know. You know, I'm just looking forward to doing the next one.
Like for the first one, for me, the first one was in where was it at? Compton?
South Central.
South Central, okay.
Yeah.
So I thought that one was great. I was trying to figure out, how do you top that one? Not that you're supposed to top it, but I'm thinking, how do you outdo it? And man, it just, the second one made that first one look like,
well,
you know what I mean? I mean, I know it's the people that do it, right? We always say,
right.
And it really is it's really you guys who make it happen. But
yes,
man, just everyone came together and just killed it.
Well, you know what it is? It's not that you try to top it, right? It's just that what happens is people are starting to you know, recognize the whole aspect of it and what it's about, right? So you get more people that show up, a whole different mixture of bikes and you know, and more people that want to be a part of it, right? So it's not that I'm thinking, you know, what can I do next? What can I do next? No, it's the people itself that make it a great show. You know, all I could do is, you know, do my vision and hope that it works out, right? And yeah, I might add a couple of things here and there, but yeah, it's ultimately the people that make it a great show.
But one of the things that people may notice and may not notice is, yes, it's a great event. There's a lot of V-Class, a lot of motorcycles, but you're actually pushing the culture behind it,
right?
Which a lot of people don't do, or they try to mimic, or whatever you want to call it. But what you're doing is actually bringing the roots out on top of the event.
Right. Well, you know, you have to understand something, Bob, that the Vikla culture within itself is still a fairly new thing. You know, it hasn't been here, you know, through generations and generations and generations. Us as riders, we have been here through generations, but you know, the actual lowrider bike, the Vikla, it's fairly new, right? So when me as a builder and I've always, you know, studied my culture as much as I could since I was a kid, you know, and understanding, you know, what you're building, you know, what you're laying down, and being a rider and you know, and from my past, you know, it all comes together, and what I do is I explain the history within the culture. You know, the lowrider scene has it all day long, right?
Right.
You know, these bikes, man, from being a car builder to building bikes, man, it's a lot of work and appreciation that goes into these bikes that, you know, I don't think people understand, you know, and I just want the culture within itself, the Vikla culture, to get noticed, right? Because in the past, you know, when you would enter a show or car show, lowrider show, whatever, the bikes were always displayed in the back. They never got that attention, right?
Right.
But they didn't know what it took to build these bikes, right? So now that people are aware and see it, and see that it does tie in within the culture, now they're coming forward, right? And that's what Viclazos is about, about allowing these bikes to be showcased and appreciated.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you guys are like always, but you see some of the builds back here, and some of your builds, a lot of your builds are just like winning.
Well,
I mean, when there's a contest, I mean, obviously.
Right. Well, it's
a competition, whatever you want to call it.
I'm glad they are, because at the end of the day, when a guy wins, right, and they see the bike, then if someone's interested, right, not because of the work, but if someone's interested within the bike,
right,
they go talk to this guy and be like, oh, what's going on with your bike, right? So then you kind of relay that story, that message that I'm trying to, reach out people to hear, right?
Right.
So you start talking about the bike, you start talking about the culture, and and it develops. The more you hear it, the more you want to do it, right? So
now a lot of which we'll get another look, I know, but the themes like the photos or the pictures which you airbrush, is there always a theme, or do people are they just like do your thing and run with it?
It's like a 50-50 thing, right? So.
And that's airbrush, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
He's an artist. He's not like just a stencil guy. You lay it out, you airbrush it, and however it works, how it works.
Yeah. So it's a 50-50 thing. Most people will be like, hey, just do your thing, right? But even when they say that, just do your thing, I still need to know what you're about.
Right.
Everyone has a story to tell, right? So I try to grab that little story that you want to say, and then as the process goes, they start talking a little bit more. Hey, bro, this and this and that. And I'm like, all right, we'll start incorporating it within the bike. So that history, means something to people. So that's what I try to do.
And another thing I've noticed is like there's a lot of guys coming out with the big wheel baggers again, or like just so much. And I like them, but there's so much with the baggers. A lot of the bikes you build are actually not basic, but they got the 21, the 16 spoke, but it's the paint job that just sets off the bike.
Right. So I mean, like anything, there's been a huge contribution from everybody.
Right.
It's not just the paint job though, because the bars make a difference. Like you just had Charlie here, right? Mm-hmm. His lights, his vision of that turbine, that comes from the lowrider scene. All those little contributions that different companies have put within these bikes that you see, right? They make the bike. So I just can't say it's my paint job. No,
right.
I'm what I do is it's an accessory just like they do. But everyone's contributions is developing this style that's worldwide now.
Right.
So I think it's a whole collective group.
And the Vikla style is worldwide.
It is
Japan,
worldwide.
Australia. I was talking to somebody said Russia.
Yeah. Charlie was talking Russia, man. I mean, it's like
that's a different. That's a whole. I mean, I never heard of Russia. I mean,
right.
I know. I don't know what they write out there, but
Russia, Dubai, and so forth.
Yeah, Dubai's huge out
Taiwan, there. So what we do here in Southern California, and it's always been the case, right? Whether it's fashion, music, or whatnot, influences the rest of the world, right? And it's an honor, to see that our creativity or our culture, is loved and accepted throughout the whole world.
Right.
Yeah.
And our culture to me is accepting.
Right.
I've said this before. I feel like I don't know. We accept everyone. We welcome everyone, right? You don't have to be specifically Latino or Latino, whatever. It's a culture, to me as a whole. Like, hey, you embrace it. You embrace the look. You embrace what it's about. You embrace where it comes from. Come in. You know what I mean?
And it goes back to that too, right? You can talk about that, right? So our history hasn't been the greatest here. A lot of racism, a lot of discrimination, right? And things have changed throughout generations, right? It still exists, of course.
Right.
But if you take a look at something that was considered bad, the way we look, the way we talk, the way we carry ourselves, that's supposed to be a bad thing, right? That now over the years it's changed, right? Where it's more of an influence, right? And it's worldwide.
Right.
I mean, that's fucking mind blowing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Consider that, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. the love and respect that we've gotten is it's weird, man. It's weird, man.
Weird.
But you know what? Imagine what happens 10 years from now. You know, so it's a really positive movement. You know, and that's what it is. It's a movement.
Do you think this will just keep climbing, or do you think eventually it's gonna tap?
Oh no, man. You know, it won't tap out, bro. The Vikla is here to stay.
Yeah.
The Vikla culture is here to stay, and it won't tap out, man. Just like the lowrider, the Vikla will stay. And from my experience of building these bikes and seeing what other people are doing in different states, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
You set a trend, and then that person grabs it and does their thing, and now you're like, oh damn, like now I got to catch up. You know, and it motivates me as a builder, and to keep up my game, right?
Right.
Because man, these people out there, man, they're building some beautiful bikes, man.
Yeah.
Much love to Arizona, Texas. Man, those guys are building some bikes.
It's a trip to see things like you think, like you look at some of these builds and you're like, well, what else can you do? And you see one of these guys do something, you're like, damn, I guess you can do a lot more. Like shit.
Well, that's the
evolution of.
That's the evolution, and that's the custom culture that we carry. We've always done that through generations. Whether we just always carried ourselves that way, right? If we have a basic car, but we want it to look good because lack of funds or lack of money, right? But we made it our own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we added that little extra this, little extra that, just to give it our style, right? So it'll never stop. The evolution of these bikes is going to keep on getting better and better, and I'm excited for it. Man. I'm definitely not a hater. I'm excited to see what people are building.
What's one of the probably the most like paint job you've done that was like real detailed or real almost put you on edge, like damn, like how am I gonna do this? Do you have one like that?
No.
Really?
No, because every time I just like I talked about it, I push myself to become better, right?
Yes.
To become better
You
every
said
time.
that. Yeah, you said that before.
So after every bike that I'm done with, I'm like, all right, I could see it's leveled up. I could see my paint's leveled up. I could see my artwork's leveled up, right? So, I just did this portrait the other day, on a canvas that, I was like, oh, damn, I am getting better. You did
that to your own portrait.
Yeah, but you have to understand me as an artist. Like when I'm doing something, and my wife understands that because she's upstairs at my shop with my kid all day, right? Everyone knows not to bother me, right? And it's just I'm down here. This is my heaven on earth right here, right? I'm concentrated. I'm focused. I'm working, and I step back. And this is after a full day's job, bro.
Yeah.
That I actually wake up, I guess you could say. And I'm like, oh shit, like I did that. Like I didn't, at that moment in time, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Right.
Like I don't know. I'm like somewhere else, bro. I'm somewhere else.
You're just in the grind.
I'm just in the grind.
Get it done
I'm in the grind, and then I'm like, it's about to turn out these lights, and I'm like, you take that look back. I'm like, oh, all right.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's just me. I don't know how everybody else feels, but that's the love that I have for this.
Is that this is all worth it moment when you're like,
yeah,
damn, okay.
Well, like for example, like this bike in the back, China, man, like that was a frame off built, bro, and this guy rides it everywhere. You see him.
He even rides on the freeway without a shirt.
I've seen that, but it's like China, like I'll use an example, it's that pride, I see him everywhere, and he's everywhere, right? He's on social media everywhere, that sometimes even after the tags, I'm like, man, I don't want to post your bike anymore. But what he is, people like himself that do this, that love it, right? And they got their bike, and they're setting that trend, right? Because people see him and they're like, damn, that bike is bad.
Yeah.
Like I want one of those, right? And like he's actually doing his part and his contribution to the culture.
Right.
Right. By being out there, and he lives far, bro. He's a rider, bro.
Yeah.
Like hour and a half to get down to LA.
Where in Norco?
Yeah, that's a mission, bro. And he's out here in LA every weekend. And maybe sometimes even during the week.
You know what? I do look at that. I'm like, I don't know how this guy does it. Because I'm like, I don't want to ride 10 miles sometimes. Like, he's out.
On a Vikla.
On a Vikla, yeah.
On a Vikla, bro.
Which in return is marketing, in a sense, and showcasing your work, what you did.
I mean, yeah, but...
That's not the point, but I mean, that's, right? You look at everything. That's,
yeah, you look at everything, right? So, you know, he's riding on that highway, bro, on a Vikla. You know, where Vikla's not supposed to be like, you know, your typical riding bike, right? But he rides the shit out of it.
And that's why I like to call them show bikes that are ridden. You know what I mean? Like, they are, right? He wins multiple shows.
And that's the difference and the respect that the motorcycle deserves, right? Not only is it dangerous, but, you know, you're riding the shit out of these bikes that look like show bikes, right? And that takes balls, bro.
And, you know, personally, I don't care if you pull your bike or ride it. Like, it don't matter to me. So all you guys out there that trailer your bike, I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying, I don't care. But what I am saying is these bikes that win shows are being ridden to the shows. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you know. So, you know, nothing but respect for China, man. He, you know, doing it. He's doing it.
And he rode down here today to have the bike in the interview.
He's over here in the hood.
Inglewood. So what new projects you got going on as far as like, we got V-Glosses, of course, happening next year. But anything else you got in the works or anything you can talk about?
Well, I mean, a part of what I do that I don't speak about a lot, but if you know me, and you know I'm not out there, you know, trying to take full credit of everything or whatever, you know. But constantly, what we do is charity work, right, through the Beans and Rice Project.
Yes.
And you know, every year we do toy drives. You know, so you know we're doing another toy drive December 3rd. You know, it's a mixture within the Viclasos thing and the Beans and Rice Project, but ultimately it's all to help out the community.
Right.
So you know, we're going to be doing that. It's always a good time to help out. You know, I when I get these toys, man, like I distribute them to different locations, and it's not just one place, right? I just don't say here are all the toys.
Right.
You know? No, like I have a list of 11 spots where I go every year, you know,
to deliver
these toys that they already know I'm gonna be there that year, right? Women's shelters, you know, it's not a nice place to be at, you know, but you know, I deliver to the women's shelters a lot. You know, a lot of those kids need help, you know. You know, there's just certain sheriff station that I take them to all the time too, because I know that sheriff station gives back to the community. Right. So you know, there's certain places that I choose, and I don't put it out there, right? Because it's really nobody's business. Right. But it's been happening for the last 3 years, and this is gonna be our 4th year doing it.
But also with the Beans and Rice Project, you guys' clothing brand, the proceeds from every buy goes to that as well, right? Right.
Yeah. So that's another thing a lot of people don't know. So Malo clothing actually started as you know, if you take the time to look at it, it's not just a regular Chicano brand. You know, Malo clothing is actually you're asking forgiveness for your sins, for your past, right?
No, so for people who may not understand, what does that mean in English? Malo Vida.
Malo Vida. I guess you could say a bad life, or you know, or something like that. You know, but basically, you know, the whole brand, what it says is you're asking for forgiveness, right? You're asking for forgiveness for all the shit you've done.
Right.
You know, so that's what the brand entails. It's not just, like I said, it's not just a Chicano brand, right?
There's a whole purpose behind it.
There's a whole purpose behind it, right? So, you know, my girl is the one that takes care of it. And yeah, out of every shirt we sell, shoes, hats, whatever it is, we take money from there and put it aside for the Beans and Rice Project. Because as you know, to throw an event or do anything, it's hard, bro. It's not cheap, especially nowadays, right? So we put money to the side, and I think a lot of Chicano brands should kind of do that, right? You know, not just sell you a shirt or a slogan, you know, but actually mean it and give back to the community.
Right.
You know, and that's what we've been doing. You know, like I said, you know, people might not know that, but that's what, you know, Malo Vida clothing is. And Viclasos, you know, beans and rice, everything, you know, we try to give back to the community as much as we can. Through Viclasos, we sponsor Academy and Southgate, you know, Ballet Folklorico. Those kids that you saw at the show,
Yeah.
we sponsor them.
The dancers. The dancers, yeah.
Yeah, we sponsor them, bro. You know, whatever they need, we help them as much as we can.
Wow.
You know, so that's what we're about. You know, we are about giving back, but we're also not about putting it out there on social media all the time. Oh, look at me. No. You know.
Well, that was what I want to ask, because not that you have to like push it down people's throats or be like, this is what we do, but you really don't speak about it a lot. Is that on purpose, or?
You know,
I understand, like, you're just doing your thing. You want to do your part by giving back, like, legitimately, but you don't really. If people, there's probably a lot of people going, "Whoa, I didn't know he was Beans and Rice. I didn't know that was them." Right. So do you just not do it, or is it just one of those things that it is what it is, and this is what we do because it's from our hearts.
Exactly, it comes from the heart, bro, and you know, that's just something that, you know, that I've always said I was gonna do, and it's really hard to do, you know, but you know, I'm trying my hardest to keep my word, you know,
right,
to do those things. As far as, you know, if you know me, you know me, you know, I know sometimes people don't want to approach me, they're like, but you know, I'm really, you know, I'm really trying to do the hardest that I can to, you know, within a circle or within the community to change things around.
Right.
You know, I've done a lot. You know, I've given a lot, and I've asked a lot from my family too to you know, do this kind of things. You know, but you know, it's working. It's working, bro. You know, it really is. You know, I one of the kids that when I started the Beans and Rice project a little bit over 4 years ago, that was an artist. We started displaying her stuff, selling her stuff, bringing her to little events and stuff. Now she's going to art school.
Wow.
Like, she graduated, and now she's going to art school.
Wow.
And I was like, what? Like, it actually worked, you know?
So
like,
the process is...
The process worked. You know, the little mentoring that I gave her and encouragement, like I didn't even realize that. Like, her dad told me, like, she signed up and she graduated and she's going to art school now.
Wow,
and
that's
I was
awesome.
like, what? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize it, you know, so it was like, wow, it's working, you know.
You don't realize who you're reaching, who you're touching, and you know, not even trying to do that. We're just being ourselves, right? And whatever, I guess there's always someone catching something from you doing something, and it's just a trip when you hear about it. You're like, wow.
Well, you know, there's the way I see it too, right? Like, me growing up, right? There's I think it's called, you know, maybe a generation gap of first generation, you know, Mexican American, right? Where you know, maybe our parents didn't understand the culture, didn't understand that, you know, college is a good thing, or you know, not, you know, maybe not breaking your back is the best option. You know, maybe there's other things you can do with your talent. You know, I didn't have that support, you know, so when I see kids that you know, most of them are single parent, you know, people, and the kids don't have a dad on a regular or a mom on the regular, and you give them that little attention, it means the world, you know, because if I would have gotten that little attention when I was younger, you know, it would have probably changed my life, right? But, you know, I think everything's happens for a reason, right? So maybe this is my reason to help out these kids. It's still growing, it's still there, you know, and you know, and most importantly, it's all community based. You know, it's not government funded. You know, it's everybody that contributes, that buys a shirt, that goes to the events. It's all the community doing something. So it's not I'm not a nonprofit.
Right,
you know? It's all community based. You know.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you got the toy drive November 3rd. Do you guys do a turkey thing or like anything like that?
We did last year. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but, but hopefully it does happen.
Okay,
You know, hopefully it does happen. You know, we're gonna have to talk to Joseph about that. Yeah. But hopefully it happens. You know, it'll be nice. It was a nice event.
Yeah, hell yeah, it was, yeah.
You guys rode what, 500 miles?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
I'm still sore from that ride a year ago. Hey, let's go check out some of the builds. We got some bikes outside. We got some here. You guys stay tuned. All right, guys, so we're right here with this bike dubbed La Reina. It's a 1997, what is it, Sawtail Standard, basically?
Yeah.
And you now, well, a lot of people also don't know about you because you're like a big secret. When you build a bike, you build the whole bike. You even work on motors, you work on everything, right? Not just paint and parts.
I do, but on La Reina, I didn't build this one. I just, what happened with La Reina is, when I met them, you know, they had their parts at another shop, right, where the guy just kind of blew them off for over a year, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So the guy, you know, he called me, Gilbert called me and told me, hey, bro, like, do you have time to do this bike? And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm like, where are you? How far along are you? He told me. So I basically busted out this paint like in a week, you know.
Wow.
I did it for them. And then, you know, she kind of had a vision and thought. So, you know, I did my best to what she wanted. And then off of the paint, when they started putting it off the bike, that's when they decided to do extra stuff. You know, they started doing with their engraving and all that stuff, you know. So I'm glad that the paint inspired them, but I can't take credit for the full bill for this one, yeah.
So now with this paint scheme, and I'm going to put out all the secrets. I met him as JR. A lot of people, people knows him Malo, so excuse me if I say JR or Malo. Malo, you are an artist by, like, would you say by trade or by natural? You're not just you're like a legit art. You do portraits, you do, you know, all this, obviously you do the paint schemes here.
You know, it's just one of those things that I guess you're born with, right? And you just don't take it serious. I personally, I didn't.
It's just part of you.
I didn't take it seriously growing up or anything like that, right? You know, I always won artist. You know, when you're a little kid, you know, you win artist of the month.
Yeah.
I mean, I always won, but I never took it seriously till after high school, when you know, I had an injury, a sports injury, where I was supposed to go to this. I don't want to talk about that, but you know, I was supposed to be an athlete, and I had a sports injury, and my art teacher found out that I had gotten injured, right? And she submitted my stuff to what now it's called Parsons. Oh well, it's called Otis, but it's Parsons. You know, it's a really prestigious art school. She submitted my portfolio, and I got accepted. Wow. Right, and I was like, all right, you know, I'll give it a try, you know, see what happens, right? So I did, you know, I went in as a fine arts major.
Wow.
You know, I did that for 2 years. You know, I worked on pretty cool projects, you know, like Men in Black.
Oh, wow.
The Tarzan movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is back in the days. The cartoon, actually. You know, so I got it. Also applied for an internship for DreamWorks, which I got accepted.
Nice.
You know, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but you know, unfortunately, like I said, previously, like, you know, when you're first generation here, it's a little bit hard to get that support, right?
Right.
So I had to drop out of school, right?
Okay.
I dropped out of school and I didn't pursue that art career, but you know, it's okay. You know, like I said, you know, things happen for a reason.
Right.
You know, and then you know, later on in life, I picked up airbrushing.
Yeah. So now, was this their theme, or did you pick it, or how did this one work? Because I mean, you got I was talking about the themes. You got the girl, the skulls, and the Aztec stuff and all that.
Yeah. So La Reina, basically, you know, she wanted to be like, you know, the Aztec princess, right?
Okay.
Like, that's what the whole theme was,
Okay.
right? And you know, she had seen a bike that she kind of liked, so I was like, all right, you know, cool, you know, but I'll make it my style.
Yeah.
And you know, this is what I came out with. You know, there was a sense of urgency, so like I said, I did it like real fast, and it turns out that, you know, she's winning. You know,
She's winning, yeah.
She's out there, you know, winning. You know.
And again, you guys, Julio will get some B-roll. But let's go check out some other bikes outside. All right, so right here we got a Softail Deluxe. This thing is done up. A lot of you guys may know whose it is. He goes by Doyer on Instagram. Funny guy. But no, this thing is actually pretty detailed. It's based off the Charo, right?
Right.
Which, again, can you explain what that is for people who don't know?
A Charo, well, there's Charo and mariachi, right? It's kind of like it's equivalent to each other, but a Charo is more of a where you do like the palenques, you know, the way you dress,
the whole outfit.
Kind of like a rodeo type of thing, you know. But it's more of a traditional style, you know, a manly man,
right?
You know, so you know, we did this bike in honor of it, right? And then we got all the famous Mexican mariachi singers, you know, like Jorge Negrete, Pedro Infante, and then we incorporated, you know, the cockfights. You know, that's what you see here. You know, so we gave it that, you know, that tribute.
Right,
you know,
right.
That tribute, yeah.
And on this one, you just did the paint as well, or did you build it?
We did the paint. There's a couple mechanical things that we did. We got it running right. So yeah, he's ready to go now. So.
Oh yeah. Now this was one I just put the reel up, right? This was for last week, guys. And this is probably one of my favorite paint schemes. This is like what, Outlaw?
Yeah, it's Outlaw bike. Yeah. This belongs to Mr. Rich, a tattoo artist.
Okay. He's based out of LA, right?
Based out of LA. So him being an artist, you know, he was very particular with the images that he wanted, right?
Does that make it easier for you?
You know, yes and no.
Okay.
But you know, Mr. Rich has a great eye, right? So a respectable tattoo artist. Mm-hmm. So you know, he said, "I want these images," and then we just, you know, laid them out accordingly. You know, and this is the product, man. You know, it's a great looking bike.
All right. And then here, oh man.
Oh, this one's a little bit dirty right here, man. But
oh, this is the bike, the Road King, based off the brand, right?
Yeah, Mala Vida. My girl says it's her bike, you know, but
is that true?
But I ride it. But yeah, this is Mala Vida. This is a Mala Vida bike, you know. So as you can see, you know, we got a bunch of angels doing things that they shouldn't be doing, you know.
Forgiveness. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, we got the stripper angel here. We got the angel with the gun. We got the angel drinking, you know. But like I said, you know, it's ultimately you're asking for forgiveness. You know? Yeah.
Wow. I have a whole different outlook on the name now.
Yeah. Did you see the little angel snorting cocaine over there?
No.
Right there. In the derby cover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And flipping off. My God. What's going on here? That's a heavy picture right there.
Yeah.
That picture, that's a damn. That's the city behind it, right?
Yeah.
Man, that means a lot of shit right there. God dang. That's like sad. Damn, you get this thing of every.
Are you gonna cry or what?
No, I forgot recording. No, I'm not gonna cry, but goddamn, that's a heavy picture. Damn. Okay,
it's all right, bro.
This one.
So this is this bike actually was at another shop. Man, it looked like shit, right, when I got it. It was rusted, dirty, bad.
Oh man.
Bad. But this bike belongs to Star. So Star is from Hollywood, and she's a rider, and she basically put her trust in me with this. You know, I had a concept because you know, Star loves the whole Hollywood scene, the vintage Hollywood, right?
Okay.
So being that she's Latina, I said, well, let's incorporate the old Hollywood in here. You know, the images of these Hollywood actresses that don't get the recognition, or a lot of people may not know that they're Latinas, like Rita Hayworth, you know, Marilyn Monroe, you know.
Marilyn Monroe was?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's a Chicana, bro. You know that? Well, now you know.
No.
So then, you know, based off of that, we're paying tribute to the Gypsy Rose as well, right?
Yes.
Gypsy Rose appeared on Chico and the Man in the 70s. And, you know, based off of that, it is said that, you know, when you saw it on TV, that's where the low rider scene became heavy, right?
Okay.
So obviously, the Gypsy Rose is an icon, right?
Right.
That kind of car. So we paying tribute to the Gypsy, we're paying tribute to these actresses, and you know, I did it a little bit my style. You know, the roses are airbrushed; they're not hand painted; they're black and white. My boy Malix came in and did the pinstriping because he's awesome. But other than that, you know, the whole paint job is mine.
Nice.
And yeah, man, I love it. You know, we still got a lot of work to do to it, but you know, she's beautiful.
Yeah, hell yeah. There it is, guys. Malo, JR's Customs, Inglewood, California, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
We hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Tales of a King. We'll talk to you soon. King life.